Welcome to the Arsenal Stage News, and remember, make subscribe, then continue. Enjoy your news. The rise of Gyökeres and Šeško, Arsenal's dynamic duo. The 2025 summer transfer window was one of the most intense in recent memory for Arsenal FC. With the squad's recent successes under Mikel Arteta, the Gunners were already a force to be reckoned with in both the Premier League and Europe. However, Arteta knew that in order to keep up with the ever-evolving game, he needed to bolster his attack. After months of speculation, two names stood out: Viktor Gyökeres and Benjamin Šeško. Gyökeres, the Swedish striker known for his lethal pace and clinical finishing, had been on Arteta's radar for some time. His performances in the Championship with Coventry City had turned heads across Europe, but it was his ability to adapt to the Premier League that intrigued Arteta. A versatile forward, Gyökeres could play across the front line, offering flexibility in attack. His signing was a calculated one, a move that promised not just immediate impact, but potential for growth. Šeško, the Slovenian giant, had been one of the most talked-about talents in Europe for the last few years. A physical striker with an eye for goal, Šeško's raw talent had made him a standout at RB Salzburg, and his subsequent move to RB Leipzig only enhanced his reputation. At 21, he was still a work in progress, but Arteta saw in him a future star, a player who could complement the likes of Bukayo Saka and Martin Ødegaard while providing a target man option up top. The idea of these two players combining forces at Arsenal was an enticing one. Gyökeres, with his speed and creativity, paired with Šeško's aerial dominance and power, would form a dynamic partnership that had the potential to light up the Premier League. However, the path to their arrival was anything but simple. Chapter 2: Negotiations and the race for their signatures. As the summer window progressed, the race for both players intensified. For Gyökeres, several Premier League clubs had shown interest, including West Ham United and Brighton and Hove Albion. However, Arsenal's approach was different. Arteta reached out personally to Gyökeres, outlining his vision for the future of the club and how the Swedish forward could play a pivotal role in that vision. It was a conversation that sealed the deal, as Gyökeres' ambition to play at the highest level resonated with Arteta's plans for Arsenal. With Šeško, the situation was slightly more complex. The 21-year-old was a hot commodity, with top clubs across Europe circling him. Manchester United had made an early move, but Arsenal had the advantage of their project under Arteta, a project that Šeško found hard to resist. His agent, aware of the growing interest, had hinted that Arsenal was the perfect destination for his client, given the attacking style of play Arteta had implemented at the Emirates. After weeks of negotiations with RB Leipzig, Arsenal made their move. A record fee was agreed, and the Gunners had secured Šeško's signature. Both players were set to join Arsenal, signalling the start of a new era in North London. Chapter 3: The impact on the Arsenal squad. As the two forwards made their way to London, the atmosphere at the Emirates was electric. Fans were eager to see the new signings in action, and there was a sense of optimism surrounding the club. Gyökeres' arrival immediately added depth to an already impressive forward line, while Šeško's inclusion offered a new dimension to Arsenal's attack. For Arteta, the task was now clear: integrate these two into his tactical setup. In training, Gyökeres and Šeško quickly adapted to Arteta's system, with the Swedish striker linking up effortlessly with Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. Šeško, though raw in his technical ability, impressed with his intelligence and positioning, often finding space in the box to finish off crosses. The integration of these two forwards allowed Arteta to experiment with various attacking formations. In one particular friendly match against Lazio, the manager opted for a 4-3-3 formation with Gyökeres and Šeško leading the line. The result was a thrilling 4-1 victory, with both players getting on the scoresheet. It was clear this partnership had the potential to change the face of Arsenal's attack. Chapter 4: The early days at Arsenal. The opening months of the 2025-26 season were nothing short of spectacular for both Gyökeres and Šeško. Arsenal had set their sights on the Premier League title, and their new signings played a pivotal role in that quest. Gyökeres made an instant impact, scoring twice in his debut match against Leicester City. His pace caused constant problems for opposition defenders, and his link-up play with Ødegaard and Saka was fluid and natural. The Swedish striker became a fan favourite almost overnight, with his tireless work ethic and deadly finishing making him one of the most exciting players to watch in the Premier League. Šeško too found his stride quickly. Though he wasn't as prolific as Gyökeres initially, his physical presence in the air and his ability to hold off defenders made him a key asset in Arsenal's attacking build-up. His first goal for the club came in a thrilling 3-2 win over Manchester United, where he showed great composure to finish off a cross from Saka. As the season progressed, both players continued to shine. Gyökeres had a remarkable 15 goals and 10 assists by the winter break, while Šeško's contributions were equally valuable, with 10 goals and 6 assists. The two forwards formed a partnership that defenders across the league feared, and their chemistry on the pitch only grew stronger with time. Chapter 5. Arsenal's new identity. With Gyökeres and Šeško leading the charge, Arsenal's identity began to shift. Under Arteta, the team had always been known for its fluid, possession-based style of play. But now they had the power and depth to combine that with direct attacking football. Gyökeres' ability to stretch the defense with his pace opened up space for players like Ødegaard and Martinelli to exploit, while Šeško's aerial prowess and physicality allowed Arsenal to switch to a more direct style when necessary. The two forwards became the focal point of Arsenal's attack, with Arteta tweaking his tactics to get the best out of both players. By mid-season, Arsenal sat at the top of the Premier League table, with Gyökeres and Šeško at the heart of their success. The duo's ability to create chances, score goals, and press relentlessly made Arsenal one of the most feared teams in Europe. The Emirates was buzzing with excitement as fans began to believe that this could finally be their year. Chapter 6. The Champions League Dream. As the season neared its climax, Arsenal's ambitions grew even greater. Not only were they in the hunt for the Premier League title, but they were also deep into the Champions League, with Gyökeres and Šeško playing pivotal roles in their European journey. In the quarter-finals, Arsenal faced Barcelona, and it was in this high-profile tie that the dynamic duo truly announced their arrival on the European stage. In the first leg at the Emirates, Šeško scored a crucial header from a corner, while Gyökeres netted a stunning long-range strike to seal a 2-0 win.
Another news.
The Gunners ready to face AC Milan in a thrilling preseason battle. The sun rose slowly over London Colney, washing the lush green pitches of Arsenal's training ground in a golden hue. It was a new dawn, not just for the club, but for every player, every coach, every member of staff who knew that this preseason wasn't just another routine tune-up, it was a statement of intent. Mikel Arteta stood at the edge of pitch 4, hands in his tracksuit pockets, eyes sharp beneath his Arsenal cap. He watched as his players warmed up, stretching, laughing, but always focused. The buzz around the training ground was undeniable. A clash with AC Milan in the upcoming preseason friendly would be a true test, not only to check fitness levels, but to gauge how far the club had come since the heartbreak of last season's title run-in. The first whistle blew. Carlos Cuesta, one of Arteta's trusted assistants, barked instructions for the rondo drills. Bukayo Saka, Arsenal's golden boy, danced in the circle, intercepting passes with that grin that's become a symbol of the Gunners' new generation. Declan Rice, now in his second season, clapped him on the back. "Oi, star boy, save some of that for Milan, yeah?" Nearby, Ben White and William Saliba worked closely with the defensive unit. Saliba, stoic yet playful, directed his teammates into pressing shapes. They knew that facing Milan's dangerous attackers, Rafael Leao, Christian Pulisic, and Olivier Giroud, would require laser focus. Giroud, the former Gunner, was already on their minds. There would be no room for sentimentality on the pitch. Inside the gym, Gabriel Jesus and Martin Odegaard were finishing up their pre-training activation. Odegaard, the skipper, was deep in conversation with the physio, ensuring his knee felt right. The Norwegian maestro knew his creativity would be vital against Milan's compact midfield. He could almost picture the San Siro crowd, or the sea of red and white shirts if the game were to be played in the Emirates Cup, chanting for more. Out on the pitches, Arteta called everyone in. "Listen up," he shouted, his voice carrying across the grounds. "This game is not just about winning, it's about showing who we are. Our intensity, our identity. Milan will test us in transitions, in 1v1s. We must be sharp. Every tackle, every press, every run, you commit fully. No excuses." The players nodded, forming tight circles by position groups. The forwards huddled. Saka, Jesus, Leandro Trossard, and the young Amario Cozier-Duberry, who had impressed Arteta with his fearless attitude in training. "This is your chance," Jesus told the youngster. "Show the boss you belong on that pitch." In goal, Aaron Ramsdale and David Raya dived back and forth, working with the goalkeeping coach, Inaki Kana. Ramsdale, ever the joker, pretended to flop dramatically after a shot, but beneath the laughs there was steel. He knew the competition for the #1 shirt was real. He wanted to start against Milan, and he'd fight for it every minute. Tactics on the whiteboard. Inside the analysis room, the coaches pored over clips of Milan's last season. "They love to break with Leão," said Carlos Cuesta, circling areas on the screen. "He will isolate the fullback. So Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, be aware. Cover the space inside, force him wide." Arteta chimed in. "When we win the ball, we go. Quick transitions, they leave gaps. Martin, you find those spaces behind Tonali. Wait, Tonali's gone to Newcastle now, but they still push up. Exploit it." The players listened, took notes. Every detail mattered. This wasn't just a fitness exercise. It was an audition for the season's bigger battles.